This video we're going to talk about fragging, dipping and mounting my corals. I'll show you how I do it. Hopefully you will learn a few tips along the way. My tenuous frags haven't really grown in the last 6 months, so I'm going to dip them in this new Nyos Dip and see what comes off them. I'm very impressed with this new Nyos Dip. I'm going to have to get a microscope to see exactly what all these pods are. There'll be a lot of good guys as well. This is about 5 minutes in now. We've still got some movement, but after 10 minutes, everything was dead. I had this PC rainbow out to frag, so I thought I'd put it in the dip just to see if anything came off it, but nothing really did. Fragging Acropora corals. Despite being one of the hardest corals to keep, they're one of the easiest to frag. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of glue on the frag plugs. Preparation is key for when fragging. When fragging, you want to snap off the branches. It makes a cleaner cut. I also took off the older parts at the top because there was a lot of new growth on the bottom of the base. Later on in the video, I'll show you how I mount my Acropora corals and why I do it this way. I decided to glue all 3 pieces together, which will make a nicer frag. While doing a water change, it's a perfect time to remove and clean any corals or rocks that have something on them that you don't want. This coral has a lot of permanent snails on the bottom of its base, so I'm going to take it out of the tank and give it a good old clean. I'm going to get a toothbrush on it. This is the main reason why I mount my corals like this, so I can take them out of the aquarium, I can inspect them, I can remove any nasty bits on them that I don't want. The permanent snails don't really damage the corals, but they do irritate the skin a little bit, so I'm just going to remove them with the clippers, as it is quite easy to do. I literally just clip them off, and I do this in the bucket so they don't stay in the aquarium. My last aquarium, all the corals grew into each other. They all grew onto the rocks, so it was impossible to get in and do this. And these corals now will outlast the aquarium because I'll be able to just take them out and move them across into a new aquarium. Nice and clean. Now I'm going to put this back into the tank. This is the frag that I made earlier. I glued all 3 pieces together. I've done this so it grows better and it'll be a decent frag. See how I've mounted these 2 yellow acroporas, one facing up and the other on its side, just so the polyps are facing the right way. It will grow a lot better like this. Mounting my corals on these pieces of rock, I broke one of the big pieces up into about 5 or 6 different pieces, and I've put them in the tank, so I've mounted my corals on them. And the best thing about this is that now I can move them around the tank into higher light or lower light, or more flow or less flow. Also, if the corals start touching each other or getting close, I can literally just move them now around the tank. This is how I remove the stem from the frag plug. I'll then glue it onto the bit of rock that I made earlier. This glue is quite thick and doesn't take long to dry. It does need a little bit of water to set it, but after that it'll be solid and won't move, and then the coral will encrust the whole piece of rock. This little tray was so cheap and it's an awesome bit of kit. It means I can move corals backwards and forwards without getting any water on the floor or onto the glass. I'll show you how easy it is to move corals around my tank. I'm going to put this over here, but I didn't really like it where I put it, so I'll move it later. I'll also pick up the other fox flame and show you how I mounted that, and that's sitting on top of another flat piece of rock, so they're really easy to move around my tank. The tenuous that I dipped earlier are looking so much better. The polyp extension is so much better than it was. I've put them in the middle of the tank as well, so where the most flow and the most light is, and I'll just see how they do. I'll probably dip them again next week and see what else comes off them. I am a little bit worried that they are looking so much better after the dip. That means there must have been something on them that was irritating them or eating them. Hopefully it's just a flow and light thing and the phosphate, but we'll see. Montiporas are even easier to frag and to mount onto discs. This is how I do it. You can see my massive rainbow phoenix. It's been fragged a few times. Smaller ones to bigger ones that have just grown out, and they grow so quick. They just melt over the tile. This big one here was mounted the same as my new really yellow Montipora at the bottom. Thank you for watching. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, please think about doing so, because it will really help me out and it will give me the support to keep making these videos.